In the flow of life, sometimes a voice echoes within us that never goes silent. This voice reminds us of what needs to be done, whispers how we should behave, and demands more at every step. It's a wind that blows through our lives, driven by logic, order, achievement, and harmony. Yet in this gust, a hidden truth is often overlooked: the risk of becoming strangers to our own emotions, needs, and essence. The demands inside us move according to an invisible list we once learned, passed down from those around us, from parents, from society. Being well-behaved, adapting, and completing tasks flawlessly are often at the top of this list. Everything must be just right. We shouldn't upset anyone, fail anyone's expectations, or seek approval for what we do. But there's another truth left unseen and unheard. In the midst of all this, the child within us, longing for joy and freedom, slowly fades. A child who asks at the end of the day, "Did I make you upset today?" is, in the purest way, voicing a deep need to belong and be accepted. Over time, this innocent desire transforms into living by the rules, sacrificing oneself for the sake of being seen as respectable in others' eyes. One day, we find that we can no longer hear our own needs and emotions. We're tuned in to others' feelings, to society's expectations, while our own voice grows faint. In the shadows of passing days, our inner demanding voice sometimes speaks like a teacher, sometimes like a parent. Be good, behave, do your job perfectly, don't show your feelings. This voice convinces us that peace and happiness will come as a reward. Once the list of tasks is done, the door to peace will open. But, like a horse chasing a carrot, peace always remains a step ahead. Every finished list is replaced by another, and the race never ends. We're pushed to run a bit faster, stop a bit less, feel a bit less. Life isn't a 100-meter dash, it's a long journey. Constant running only leads to exhaustion and a persistent sense of lack. When we finally see the real reason behind all the striving and chasing, we realize that it's not just about others. Sometimes we need to pull up a chair for ourselves, take a deep breath, and allow time for our own needs. Living with awareness is not just about focusing on goals, but about noticing the flowers along the way, the friendships, the small joys. A heart that rushes from one task to the next eventually becomes numb to joy, creativity, and its own color. That demanding voice is always urging us forward. Do more. Now do this. Don't expect appreciation. You're just doing what's expected. As a result, we never savor our achievements or feel the value of our efforts. But being human is the sum of our colors, emotions, and needs. No two journeys are identical. No path leaves the same mark. That's why, as we listen to our inner voice, it's important to pause now and then to breathe in the peace found in life's short breaks. Those who can find freedom and care for their feelings within can live in harmony with themselves and offer that same peace to others. Each person's journey is shaped by their family, environment, and the people they know. Yet, at some point, we must listen to our true inner voice and prioritize our own needs. Sometimes the demanding voice seems to offer order and security, but it can also blind and harden us. Only when we are true to ourselves do we experience genuine joy and become whole. That demanding voice often tells us, if you do more, you'll finally find peace, trapping us in an endless cycle. But peace isn't found at the end of a checklist. It's in the present moment, in quiet conversations with loved ones, the warmth of a cup of tea, or watching the clouds drift by. Along the journey, each of us eventually asks, who is this rush for? Why am I caring so much? It's at this point we begin to distinguish which voices come from our own core and which are just echoes of old habits. Noticing the demanding voice, being aware of it, and approaching it with compassion is the first door to making peace with ourselves. Walking through that door requires honest reflection. Are my needs really being met? Can I recognize my feelings? Do I allow myself to rest, to feel joy, to simply be? When we start searching for these answers, we begin to rediscover both our voice and ourselves. If a sense of pressure, restlessness, or lack keeps growing within, it may be because we're living under the direction of someone else's voice, perhaps one from long ago. Realizing this opens a door. Continue following the old patterns or breathe in something new on your journey. In that moment, we learn to pull up a chair for our feelings and needs, to set aside the endless list for just a while. Understanding what lies behind the demanding voice gives us the chance to make peace with ourselves. Many people don't realize how much they sacrifice themselves for the sake of pleasing or adapting to others. But that constant feeling of lack, the never-ending chain of tasks, and always running to the next thing, slowly pulls us away from life's real joy and authenticity. To be yourself may mean taking risks, sometimes facing criticism, sometimes standing alone. Yet, true peace is only found when we can embrace our feelings, our real needs, and yes, even our mistakes. Life's simplest, clearest truths appear in moments free from rush and the weight of endless to-do lists. Sometimes it's in a child's innocent question, a friend's genuine smile, or simply asking yourself, what do I need right now? Then we realize the race never ends, but peace can be found at every stop, in every small moment. Some people let the demanding voice take center stage, carrying the weight of never making mistakes, of always striving. But true freedom sometimes lies in telling yourself, I have the right to pause, to feel, to just be. Sometimes we need to slow our pace, sometimes for joy, sometimes for sorrow, or just for a single breath. Because we only become whole by being, pausing, and feeling. Not by running, but by witnessing and existing. At its core, life finds meaning not in unfinished tasks or incomplete lists, but in a genuine breath, a recognized need, a seen emotion. Missing the beauty life offers while chasing after more is the greatest loss. Sharing a warm smile with ourselves and with others comes from quieting that inner voice and making space for peace. And at the journey's end, true peace is found not by moving away from yourself, your feelings, or your needs, but by putting down roots, if only for a moment, right where you are. The greatest change begins when we quiet the rush and finally hear our own voice. Because life only reveals its true meaning to those who find their own color,